Welcome to We Bake, and I am your host, ShanMillion. Right now, we are getting ready to start our Nutella Brownies. We are actually pulling out our ingredients and pouring our 1/2 a cup of all-purpose flour. We are making sure that our flour is preferably unbleached. We are also getting ready with our 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. We'll be pouring our vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon, 1 cup of Nutella, 2 eggs, 1/2 a cup of brown sugar preferably, but if you only have white sugar, or use what you have. And we will be using 1/2 a cup of unsalted butter, melted at room temperature. So as you can see here, I'm currently pouring the sugar in this recipe, and we are getting ready to crack our eggs. Next part of the recipe calls for 1 cup of Nutella. And as you can see here, we are getting that all scooped out and ready to go. So the great part about this recipe is that it is easy to make. You don't need too many ingredients. And it can be done in minutes. So if you're looking for a sweet chocolatey treat, this is definitely one to go for. So the next part of this recipe, we've already poured the flour, the salt, the 2 eggs, the brown sugar, the teaspoon of vanilla extract. So next thing is the butter, which is 1/2 of a cup of unsalted butter at room temperature. So the important part of this recipe as well is a mixer. And the reason for that, it's very beneficial to use this mixer to get the lumps out. Now don't forget, we want to preheat the oven to 325. Okay? And get our 9-inch square pans ready, as well as a bit of parchment paper. So we're currently using our electric mixer to mix out all the lumps, get it nice and smooth and consistent. You want to make sure that all the lumps are out of the brownie mixture. It is consistent and is smooth. Make sure the ingredients are very integrated. Now, if you do not have currently in your hands parchment paper, you can opt out of it. The benefit to that is it will not stick to the pan and it will not burn. So if you currently don't have parchment paper, that is fine as well. You can actually use this 9-inch square pan with the mixture just as is. If you do currently have parchment paper, you can put it at the bottom of the 9-inch square pan, taking care to let a strip of parchment paper on each side, about 1 inch or 2, and you can actually butter the other 2 sides of the pan. So as you're using the mixer, you're going to make sure you're doing it at low speed for about 2 minutes. Just to make sure it's all consistent and smooth. Once that's done, you're going to get your pans ready to pour in your mixture. So because I didn't have parchment paper for this recipe, I actually lightly greased the edges of my pan with margarine. So you can do that as well. Grease the edges of the pan with margarine. Then I proceeded to pour the mixture into two 9-inch pans. You don't need two. I wanted to evenly spread out the brownies. So again, make sure your oven is preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. You have your 9-inch pan. If you do not have parchment paper, you can actually use a little bit of butter to grease the pan. And if you do have parchment paper, you only need to grease the sides of the pan that do not have the parchment paper. Now you're going to pour it evenly into the pan, the mixture. Spread it. And in this case, as I mentioned to you, I use 2 pans, not required. You're also going to make sure that you're cooking this for about 35 to 40 minutes. So it's ideal to set a timer. And once you have put it in the oven, you can use a toothpick in the center to make sure the brownies are completely done. It's not going to be wet on the toothpick. It should come out with a slight lump and not completely clean. That's going to make sure that it is fully done throughout the mixture. And you are going to let this cool. It doesn't need to sit in the pan for 2 hours, but you can let it cool for an hour. And you remove from the pan and you cut it into squares. As you can see, it's ready to go in the oven. Abracadabra, and we're ready to go. So our brownies are done here. They look beautiful. And we are going to add a little bit of garnish, in this case, which is icing sugar. Now we want you to know that if you like this video, you can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and you'll be in next week for more. Thank you. Bye-bye.